Hi, if you want to come on in for a little dose of divination for whenever you have found me, welcome. I'm Steph, and we'll utilize some scrolls that will scry the ink blots along with tarot and oracle. Typically, I have the spirit box, but it's charging. So if you'd like to take a moment with me, close the eyes, take a deep breath, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all those who like, share, and subscribe, as well to those who have donated through Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. You're amazing. Gratitude galore. I'm going to grab one more here. Oh, and one more. Okay, I'll take a boo. I'm using 2 different sets of scrolls that I've made, and we'll get situated here. All right. Thank you. Let's go. Oh, that one's upside down. You know, one of those trees, it looks like a weeping evergreen. Okay, so I'm seeing some sort of weeping evergreen that is not weeping because it's sad. It's weeping because there's a weight, like there's snow on it, and as the snow is melting, some of like it pops back up, just ever so slightly, like ping, 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 ping. That's what it's making me feel like. It's asking me to flip it. Yes. Okay. There's a heading towards the sunlight. I don't know if this is, and I assume if you're here with me for these divination doses, you have some sort of sensitivity in your psyche or psychic senses, empathic energy, this, that, or the other. Okay. And I am seeing this being held up in, like I'm reaching up towards the sun and I am holding the sun. Almost as if, okay, that I am pressing the ceiling of what perhaps I may have thought previously. Maybe there's a change, career, relationships, personal, professional, yada, yada, yada. And I am lifting the ceiling up. More sun, more light. But it's almost as if as I'm doing this, not quite the elbow, sorry, maybe the side, right about here. So I don't know if there's something about forearm strength, forearm to foresight. Thank you. I am lifting up because I have the forearm strength. For whatever reason, that symbol's coming through and it may mean something to you. And I'm lifting up. It's like I am having some sort of energy that's being generated. There's lots of loop-de-loos up here, different shapes of these loop-de-loos. There's lots of interconnected things that are working with me, like in that weeping evergreen of sorts, and things are popping up. But as individual needles and branches, like the needles to the branch to new buds, they create different shapes depending on the angle. There's so much interconnectivity here. So perhaps if you're with me, you can sense that lift, the foresight for that, whatever efforts and work you've been earthly doing and emotionally, yes, something about the lungs, emotional lungs, space in the lungs, like I'm fixing posture like that tree. Boop, 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 boop. And then I'm seeing a crab. So whether or not is it a crab? Yeah, it's a crab. Cancer sign. Maybe it's even just symbology of nurturing some sort of, I'm going to say lift off. And this expansion in the high heart chest area, I don't know if there might even be somebody around who understands that a spirit around them may have passed from like fluid in the lungs or something like that. But I'm seeing them like step forward through this interconnectivity to help water and fire. Yes, water and fire. And that fire is what's underneath the lifting of light. Okay, so if anyone did lose somebody in spirit to fluid in the lungs, they are up in the light. And you might have even been working with them or sensing them to like lift the ceiling towards communication. There's at least 2 spirits here, possibly 3 in this reading. Also, some shadow energy is coming through, but it's not in the typical way. The witch, the earthly weaver of worlds. How is this? It's almost like the shadow is security, because it's been through things and has had to hold things over the years, the days, weeks, months, whatever. And if anything's been clearing out that's being held, like even if you're still earthly and, just like fixing your posture as things are kind of coming into this change, and you're like, you might feel like this, and there's something about this crunching, but there's a melt. I hope that makes sense. The witch, the weaver of worlds. This is that fire that's being lifted up. You can call it witchcraft. You can call it, anything that you want. I don't, whatever word makes you feel comfortable. It's just working within, like you're the tree. And for me, like I tend to refer to trees myself as like an embodiment of the Akashic records. And you are one of those trees. You're one of those books out here being, breathing, budding, moving with the seasons and the time. Does that make sense? Yes. Winter, the sacredness of pausing. Coming out of, I understand that we're in the spring, but it's like that melt is still happening. Death, yeah. The winter season, I'm not overly concerned what the planetary, where you are and saying, well, it's my summer, but it's your winter, etc. For simplicity's sake, it's the winter season. It just happens to be expressed more summer, like where you are, because I'm seeing this mixture of the sun, of like sunny summer and winter. And it's like I can hear this, but where it's cold where you are, it's warm where I am. So it's not my winter. But it's almost as if you've tapped into the benefits of winter somewhere else on the planet to help the eternal cycle begin here. You're like, I'm not waiting, because you've been doing the work. We'll take one more. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Sorry, thank you. I feel like I had a moment there. Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities, Lady de las Muertes, Acceptance and Equality. And then last but not least, Jack-o'-lantern, Protection. These are through those worlds. It's as though I'm feeling, I even like just had stress in my shoulders and I didn't realize, like secret stresses. I'm accepting the light and the dark is how I'm feeling. I'll put me in there. Like I'm here. My light and my shadow, the this or the that, apply whatever you'd like. And it's like, yes, I am both equally. They serve in different spaces. Something got through your thick skull. And I think we can all relate. Thick skull. It's almost as if I'm seeing, and it was in this original oracle scroll here. Oops, I'm sorry. Something creative and when I'm saying creative, I'm not talking about necessarily like painting, drawing, this, that, or the other. I feel as though I'm speaking to a creative, what's the word? Co-creative with other consciousness, other worlds, other realms. The Ophiuchus sign is also standing out. Should that mean anything to you? Yes. Okay. It's almost as if, because the message of interconnectivity seems pretty prominent through not only maybe yourself in the spirit realm of the afterlife realm, you still being a spirit, even though in density, and things are de-thawing. It's almost as if I may, if you feel as though your sensitivity to things is either being heightened or lessened, like turning that dial, because you might be shifting what your sensitivity was sensitive to, and now it becomes normal, or you've acclimated to it so that its tolerances are controllable. And it's not like you're moving on to new things. You're just like de-thawing something that might have been frozen from a past, from your past. What this personality's past, or your paralleling pasts. Something's de-thawing, and I really can't help to think that it's some sort of connection to the worlds that the witch spoke of, the weaving of that. Okay, we have here graveyard, nature spirits, and black cat. Oh, there's one turned over, so we'll see what resides in there. Black cat 7. Maybe it's a cycle of 7 lives, 7 years, 7 days. Oh, something that stood out to me. Something about 7 days of the week. Graveyard, there is a song that bellows in the peace of knowing no end and acknowledging the crossroads of eternity. So I do feel like there is a spirit around someone, or simply in this session, that's willing to share their wisdom of that weaving of worlds. But if you have lost somebody that you reflect upon, in right from that beginning, you're in the lifting. The sorrow feels like shadow when I reflect upon the earthly loss, but my light or my shine is lifting up a ceiling to commune. They are in peace. They are in peace, not so much about resting. For that message that may be for somebody. The black hat, there's a curious journey into the depths of the unknown, hidden so deep that only the brave will gracefully return with light in their eyes and shadow leading home. If you want to take a screenshot of that, if the lighting should allow, I apologize if not, or maybe you can like zoom in or something. That's what we're talking about here, the shadow and the shine of lifting some sort of ceiling to see, but knowing it's the shadows, a quality to the shine that leads you into some sort of illumination or enlightenment. And whatever that means for you, again, I keep seeing like this dial thing, and I could say it's like a radio, but it isn't so much, because I'm seeing it like might be like from the 70s. No, it's the 60s. I think it's like a 60s thing. Anyway, the light in your eyes and the shadow leads you home, because as you walk through whatever it is that you're transforming, and if it's not so much about a loss and the spirits just simply sharing their wisdom, I'm hearing that in that sense, what you're deciding to move away from or walk towards something else, change, shift, discover something new about maybe the same thing that you're doing, the same sensitivity, but there's a clear something or other. But you're like, oh, there's another modality or something along the lines that will inspire something else for you to almost like reinvigorate it. And again, it like turns the dial up. Okay. Unseen to this. Okay. Protection. Like we've had this come in twice now, protection. So if you are working, like as I even do here with you, like working amongst symbols, shapes, and spirits, etc., know that you are protected as you're dialing up. And there's actually women in here. They're not ghosts. I don't know if the camera will let it come through, if they can, you can see them in there. But I just heard, we've got you covered. We've got you covered. And it's almost like shadow and shine of spirits. You're protected on both sides because you haven't dismissed the beauty of your dark side, if I may, or just seeing the beauty of the dead still being alive and well and willing to commune and communicate, exchange like text messages in the air. And it's almost like I can see them like ethereal or energetic emojis, leaving things or doing things, moving things, thoughts, feelings, whispers. Those are their version that maybe they've been teaching us to manifest in a technology for an expression. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. Nature spirits. On your toes, twirl and twirl until you're ready to take flight. They arrive in the winds beneath your wings and speak through the swaying of the trees. And this comes in like right from the trees from the beginning. There's also lots of three. There's three. I wanted to call them broads, so hopefully that's not offensive to anybody, but three broads. Three there as well. 3 and 7, 3 and 7. It's almost like suddenly I can see, was it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the third day of a 7-day week. Well, okay. I'm going to get ready to close out here. We'll add on some vampiric tarot to close out. Thank you so much for joining me today. And hopefully this has added some sort of inspiration to your day, to your intuition, to your imagination, to your intelligence, and can help you sleep better at night. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to take one more at least. King of Holy Waters is coming through with the Sir Henry Irving. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. This is that protection that's coming through with it being holy water. Whether it's your male energy, an actual male partner, parent, this, that, or the other. This has been that sorrow that was felt at some point in time. At some point in time in the past. The past. There was comfort from... There is comfort in the connectivity. This is bringing me into the winter, the pause. I felt the sorrow at the graveyard. Whatever that symbolically means for somebody, whether it was a person that passed and condolences to a job loss or a relationship, or maybe it's like, oh, I was really gaining momentum with this spiritual gift and then it kind of came to a halt. And even see how as soon as I did that, remember like back in the beginning, we were talking about this cave-in and this melt is happening. This melt is happening and I'm reposturing, not only my personality of this person that I'm embodying now, but it's almost like the persona of what I even thought lifting the ceiling. And I almost want to ask, like, why was I so hard on the pause? I needed to sleep. I needed to rest. Messages still were coming through. Comfort was coming through. Maybe I didn't hear it or heed it the way I would have liked, but I wasn't in a state to receive what I liked because I wasn't in a state of like. Does that make sense? Okay, I lied. I'm going to add on one more oracle card. I always do that. I feel like I say I'm closing out and then I like completely ramble on. I feel like the pause was intelligent. Something was going on as you were turning up or lifting your own ceiling. From internal to external, none of my business. Only you know if you're resonating with this story. Focus. Okay. The pause, the freezing of something or a gift, if you have a, like, it's almost like I can hear someone say, like, there was a birthright of this lifetime that was frozen away from me. But like you had like this inkling the whole time that like, it's almost like I want to say, like, I'm supposed to be able to do this, or I've done this before, but why isn't it here? Something was frozen. I don't know if I don't want to say it was stolen, but it kind of has the feeling like it was hidden. But something's de-thawing. I keep seeing this ice cube. I don't know what's in the center of it. I'm sure it's different for each of us. And that's what it feels like. Now, this card does say, warning, kelpie at the bottom. Those might mean something to you, but what I'm seeing is 5 of change, and it's coming out. It's coming out of this, lifting the ceiling. Oh yes, it's something's being freed. But the change, it's almost like the change of the seasons, if I may, just following nature, the change of the season. You know, in simplicity's sake, we can say in some way, shape, or form, winter sucks, but it holds such a important role to freeze something so it can de-thaw and almost be really appreciated now that this something, and I do feel like it's a gift of some sort, can be de-thawed to you. This light is consistent through the reading, right from the original oracle. And I feel like if you took the time to pause, it's because you heeded the warning that something was hidden. This is Medusa, injustice. You might have even been the one of a different personality you once were that placed this there to de-thaw at a certain time. So it's almost as if I had anger towards anyone, or this injustice I felt was done to me, and this vengeance, like I would come out and be like, something paused. Even if it was external and was taken and hidden and frozen, again, this posturing, I almost like, I hear like, nice try, because you've actually done things minutely to massive. You've experienced things emotionally, earthly, and etherically that have created the conditions for the thaw. And now the vengeance, right in that high heart space, wide open, it's, I am willing to receive this, but you understand it's like going to come in and like, whether it's the drip of the melt, or you're going to feel like the ting, 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 ting. You know what I'm saying? And instead of going after with a vengeance in a different way, with a focus to say, you know, who did this to me? Because it might have been a different version of you. You're like, no, I understand. You or other me's, by doing this withholding, I'm going to call it nicely, gave me the opportunity to be more, that I wouldn't have probably chosen, but maybe you did, just maybe in a different personality space, purposefully wouldn't have chosen. And to be honest with you, it feels like a fast route, like a fast track. I don't know, whatever you may be weaving or I'm weaving, lifting the ceiling, burning bright, but acknowledging the shadow is what leads us home in the comfort of dark matter to create the void of what we wish to feel and be and perceive, to receive. It's more, it's more powerful now, and it's coming home to your high heart for you to carry it. That's what I have for us today. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've yammered on, but as always, I am so grateful for your attention and awareness and your amazing appreciation. So until next time, thank you for scrying with me. Bye.